there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. Because the way that our minds are wired, and the fact about human beings, is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us. You're never going to feel like it. Is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. And the way that this all happens is it all starts with something super subtle that none of us ever catch. And that is with this habit that all of us have that nobody's talking about. We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea, you're sitting in a meeting, you have this incredible idea, and instead of just, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. Now, what none of us realize is that when you hesitate, just that moment, that micro moment, that small hesitation, it sends a stress signal to your brain. But here's the thing about life. None of us wake up and say, today is the day I destroy my life. What we do is we kind of check out because it feels overwhelming, or we check out because we're afraid, or we check out because we start listening to self-doubt, and then we make these teeny tiny decisions all day long, and we don't even realize it. A decision to not get up on time, a decision to not eat the right thing, a decision to snap at your kids, a decision to not speak in a meeting, a decision to not look for a job, a decision to not deal with your finances, a decision to not call your parents, like whatever it is. All day long, these tiny decisions that take you so far off track. And then you wake up like I did and you look at your life and you think, how the hell did I get here? And more importantly, how do I get back over there? And you have no idea. And so I was so trapped. And I know from your story, you felt the same way. Like you knew that there was more in store for you, but you couldn't figure out, how do you close that gap? How do you find the power that's in you? How do you discover your greatness? How do you solve these problems? It feels so overwhelming when you can't. I would go to the grocery store and the items would scan and I would be sitting there readying my excuse because there was no way that my check card was going to clear.
Wow.
So I got in this struggle with myself that a lot of us find ourselves in, and that is you get trapped in what I call the knowledge action gap. You know what to do, but you can't seem to make yourself do it, right? Every one of us is one Google search away from a list of instructions that if you follow any of them, it will change your life. But how do you get out of your head and stop thinking about what you need to do and actually do it? And in my case, this stuff was pretty easy. Get up on time, make breakfast for the kids, get them on the bus, start looking for a job. Be nicer to Chris. Don't drink so much. Instead of isolating yourself, pick up the phone and call a friend. Get yourself out into the woods and go for a walk. Start running again. Like all these little things that I was capable of, but I couldn't get out of here. Could not get out of here. And if you're stuck, that's the problem. The problem is you're in your head, you're thinking. That is the universal problem. And it all starts with this knowledge of what to do, and then you hesitate and you think about whether or not you feel like doing it.
Science has shown us that willpower is a lot like a muscle. And as you go through the day and flex that willpower muscle by making new choices and achieving new little wins, your willpower muscle starts to deplete. So what I'm suggesting to you is when you first get up, your willpower is at the strongest. And by getting up at 5 o'clock, you can do the things I'm going to encourage you to do much more easily than you could later on in the day. The hour from 5 to 6 is just an extraordinary hour. And as a matter of fact, I believe 5 to 8 o'clock every single morning is prime time. You do have the most willpower, you do have the most mental focus, and you do have the most energy. And I know you might not believe me on energy, please just let me get to it. But 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, if you use those prime time hours, call them the 3 golden hours, if you use them well, you'll get more done in a day than most people get done in a month. You will get your fitness to world class. You will get your mindset to world class. You will really tap into the well of elite performance that is, it's a gift for you if you know how to get to it. Your days are your life in miniature. As you live your days, so you live your life. So the final reason I would encourage you to do it is, the rest of the world is asleep. And getting up at 5 o'clock gives you just an enormous psychological edge. It's a primary win. You can get up in the morning, you do win the battle of the bed, you get out and you start your day while the rest of the world is sleeping. It gives you this incredible mental confidence. It gives you an extraordinary point of differentiation from the mass of people in the world. You just feel brave. You feel strong. You don't feel like a victim. You feel like a leader. Okay, so let me get into some quick tips for you to apply to integrate the 5 a.m. club habit. And the first is really all about habits. According to the University College of London, they have found through their research it takes 66 days to install a new habit. Not 21 days, I know I've written about that, not 40 days, which some research confirms. The latest research that I've read says it takes 66 days of practice to hardwire in a new mental pathway known as a habit. In other words, 66 days of trying to get up early every single day, going through the difficulty and the discomfort of installing that new habit until it becomes part of your neural architecture. And what do most people do? They give up after 2 days. They give up when they first meet a little bit of discomfort. And please remember the key idea that I've shared with you before on previous videos on YouTube, which is change is hard at the beginning, it's messy in the middle, and it's gorgeous at the end. And you just have to go through that messiness and the discomfort to hardwire in that new neural pathway of getting up at 5 o'clock until it becomes your new normal, until it becomes a mental highway, until literally, and here's a key idea, until literally you've practiced getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning so many times, 66 days, so that you literally cannot not get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So first idea, 66 days practicing getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Secondly, if you really want to get some traction and build this 5 a.m. habit, get up at the same time every single day. So that doesn't mean, 5:05 one day, 5:15 another day, every single morning, or maybe if you're going to do it 5 days a week, that's cool with me, whatever works best for you. Maybe it's 5 days a week, but set your alarm clock for 5 o'clock every single morning. So again, you build consistency and a ritual into your morning.